At 22 years old, I balance 2 jobs to pay off my student loans and fix my car. One of those jobs is serving at a restaurant I joined this summer. Enter Chris, a coworker in her late 30s. Chris is notorious among the staff for overstepping her boundaries and acting like an unauthorized manager, once even getting into a screaming match with a 17-year-old hostess. While she defends her behavior by claiming she is here to work, not make friends, her condescending attitude makes her deeply unpopular. I usually try to stay out of her way, but last night, we clashed. I grew up in a tight budget household where eating out was a rare luxury. My mother taught us that unless service was absolutely abysmal, a 20% tip was non-negotiable. That upbringing shaped my expectations as a server. Last night, during a chaotic shift where we were short-staffed by 2 servers, a customer paid a $60 bill, handed me cash, and said, "This is for you. You were great." Once they left, I pulled out the cash to find only $7. Disappointed, I sighed to Chris, wondering aloud if customers think we should just be grateful for whatever we get. Admittedly, my phrasing came from a place of frustration, but I was just venting. Chris immediately launched into a sermon. She called me selfish and shallow, telling me I needed to look inside myself to fix whatever was wrong with me, to avoid a public scene in front of customers and coworkers. I walked away to fetch water for my tables, but Chris wouldn't let it go. She followed me to the drink station, loudly lecturing me about how she grew up poor and how I needed to grow up. When I told her I was 22 and knew who I was, she laughed in my face. "Honey, that's young." I tried to walk away again, carrying 2 full glasses of water. Suddenly, Chris grabbed my arm. "Are you gonna listen or just walk away?" she demanded. I looked her in the eyes. "Say what you want to say, and then do not talk to me again until we close." She rambled for a minute about how I complained too much and how I should be grateful for even 9 cents. Her accusation of me being negative stung deeply. I had only been emotional that week because my grandmother had just passed away in hospice, and this was my first shift back after the funeral. Then, Chris delivered the final blow. "Even though I am not your mom, I need to tell you what is right." That was my breaking point. My mother is an incredible, hard-working woman who raised me well and taught me right from wrong. I refused to let a hostile coworker disrespect her. I told Chris she was absolutely not my mother, walked away, and ignored her for the rest of our shift. Now, our coworkers are divided. Some agree with how I handled it, while a few think Chris was just sharing her opinion and I went too far. But to me, she crossed a major line from sharing an opinion to lecturing, demonizing me, and physically grabbing me.